I am Kelly Curvin. I'm 38, born and raised in Chesapeake, Virginia. Josie is one of 5. She's the youngest and the only girl. I have 4 boys before her. We were outside and I noticed that the whites of her eyes looked just ever so yellow. We came to CHKD. They did an ultrasound and more labs, and they essentially told me that she was in liver failure.
Josie came to us at UVA as a transfer from CHKD. So Josie was diagnosed with biliary atresia, which is a disease of the bile ducts of the liver. The primary treatment is a surgical therapy we call Kasai. Unfortunately, Josie was fairly sick by the time she came to us, so it became apparent fairly early on that she would need a transplant.
There's close to 20,000 people waiting for liver transplants in the United States, and there are just not enough deceased donor organs to supply all of those people in need.
In a living donor, a patient who is alive and healthy donates a portion of their liver to someone in need. That's why we are making a huge effort to grow this living donor program at UVA.
On Facebook, a friend of mine had shared a post about a baby who needed a liver transplant.
She messaged me and said that God had put it on her heart that she wanted to be Josie's living donor.
She was, of course, very receptive to it, I think, as any mother would be who's fighting for their child in a situation like that. So she was very welcoming to me.
When she was in surgery and we had to wait so long for 10 hours, I felt helpless. I wish that it could have been me instead of her.
I do remember one of my first questions when I got up to the room after the surgery is, "How's Josie?" And I remember them telling me that, you know, it was almost immediate, like after the liver went in, like her color came back to her body. It was just a deep sigh of relief to know that everything went okay for her, like how it was planned.
We spent her first birthday at the hospital, and that was amazing. The whole transplant team bought gifts and wrapped them. We sang happy birthday. They started out as, you know, just doctors and nurses, but we've spent a lot of time together. So yeah, they're like family.
If you look at centers across the country, living donor is about 10% of the total volume of pediatric liver transplant. We're going to do half of our transplants this year as living donor transplants. That allows us to get kids to transplant sooner.
Without donors, whether they be deceased or living donors, we wouldn't be able to transplant people. So donors are, of course, the heroes of transplant, no matter how you look at it. But living donors are especially special, and I'm very biased, but I do think that they're the most special patient population you could ever take care of because they are giving of themselves in the most ultimate way. It's a major abdominal surgery that person doesn't need.
Her prognosis is great. She's thriving. A year ago, she weighed 14 pounds and couldn't sit up on her own, and now she's about to start walking and she's close to 30 pounds.
It actually happened to be on my birthday a few weeks ago that Kelly sent this video of Josie taking her first steps. It was just really special to be able to witness that.
Christina does not like to have a lot of attention placed on her, so she's just another one of my really special patients who helped this precious little baby have a new chance of life.